Number 8, the shaving of the pubic hairs. Okay, this is for the man and the woman. Again, Rasulullah tells us again that part of the fitrah, or part of our hygiene, or part of our natural inclination, right, is to shave the pubic hairs. Again, no longer than 40 days, right? The best, once a week. Again, we understand about hair, funk, sweat, lint, stench, right? You got a lot of hair, you got a lot of heat, right? You get sweat, you get a smell. When you shave the hair, right, it's free, the circulation, the wind and all of that, you have a cooling system and whatnot, you're clean. This is fresh. Okay? So again, we shave the pubic hairs. This is for the man and the woman. Number 9, As-Stinjaa, right? Or Stinjaa. And this means to safeguard oneself from urine or defecation using water. Okay? So to use water, when we use the restroom, whether it's urination or defecation, this is part of the fitrah. This is part of our natural inclination. This is part of our hygiene. Okay? When we use the bathroom, we understand that as Muslims we have a certain etiquette. We go into the bathroom with our left foot. We see reps of Allah coming off from the jinns, right? The male and female jinns. We go into the bathroom. We use the bathroom, right? We don't use our right hand, right? And we cleanse our private part. After we urinate, we cleanse our private part. With our left hand, we pour water on our private part and we clean it with water. Okay? With urination, we clean ourselves with water. After you use the bathroom, you clean yourself with water. You pour and clean yourself with your left hand. If you defecate, right, you go boo-boo, whatever. There's nothing wrong with using toilet paper to get the excess off, but the sooner is, after that, you use water. You pour water, on the private part, right, and you wash with your left hand and clean the private part. They have ads, they have advertisements, they have TV commercials right now with regards to cleaning yourself with water. They have one, it says you're not clean if you don't use water. Right? This is the kuffar telling us now. But the Prophet Muhammad told us this 1,500 years ago. That when you use the bathroom, use water. Right? It's more tahor. It's more pure. This is the best way to do it. Right? If you don't use water, it's just like you're just smearing something on yourself. You can use toilet paper, right? And you don't use no water, you're just smearing it. You haven't really cleaned yourself. And that's evident and prevalent by, looking at certain people's drawers or, panties or whatnot. And then you see certain things on it because it's not clean. Because they haven't used water. And just like the commercial said, you're not clean if you don't use water. Right? So we use the water. We follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. And this is Stinjaa. This is called Stinjaa. Safeguarding oneself, right, from urine and defecation using water, washing ourselves with our left hands. Number 10, circumcision. Right? Circumcision, which means to cut off the excess skin, right, on the male child, right, on the 4th day. This is also, right, part of the fitrah, and we're also told that this is a sunnah of all the prophets. Okay, so if we go into the Testament of old, we go to the Old Testament again. And the only reason why I'm using the Old Testament is because Allah says that we believe in what was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we believe in what was revealed before him. As long as they coincide with one another, we say, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, that is the haqq, that's the truth. Because we believe in what was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we believe in what was revealed to the prophets of old, whether it was Abraham, Jesus, Moses, right, David, Solomon. We believe in what it was that was revealed to them in its natural and correct state. So if we have a verse from the Bible and it coincides with the Quran, we said, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, that is from the haqq, that is from some of the remnants of the truth that wasn't distorted. Okay, so we're using it right in the comparative sense. Not to say that this is the only sense, but we're using it in the comparative sense to show that it's just alike. Right? We're not saying nothing new. This is something that even your own book says. So if we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 9 through 14. It talks about the covenant of Abraham and the everlasting covenant of circumcision. That this is something that we must do. This is something that Allah said, this is an everlasting covenant, right, for those who believe in Allah. So chapter 17 in the book of Genesis, verses 9 through 14, it states, Then God said to Abraham, Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is your covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. you must cut off the foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you. Every male must be circumcised on the 8th day. Right? This is Genesis chapter 17, verse 9 through 14. So Allah said that this is an everlasting covenant. It's a continual responsibility, right, for all the descendants of Abraham. So this goes to the children of Isaac. This goes to the children of Ismail alayhi salam. So they all were commanded to circumcise. And he said they are commanded to do it on the 8th day. In Islam, we're commanded to do it on the 7th day. Same thing, the 8th day, 7th day, right? Circumcised. The child must be circumcised on the 7th day in Islam. Also in the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verse 23 through 27. Also in the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verse 23 through 27, it states, on that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in his household and circumcised them. Abraham was 99 years old and Ismail alayhi salam was 13 years old. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, when Allah commanded him to circumcise himself, he was 99 years old. And he said that Ismail alayhi salam was 13 years old when he got circumcised. So this concept that, well, I wasn't circumcised when I was a kid, so I ain't got to do it now, it's too late. No. Ibrahim alayhi salam was 99 years old. Ismail alayhi salam was 13 years old. Not only that, they didn't have antibiotics and anesthesia and all that other stuff. They just really, right? I know myself personally, some people that when they became Muslim, man, they got circumcised in their 20s. Why? Because they believed in this hadith and because they had iman, right? And they trusted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know that this is a covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? A Muslim is supposed to be circumcised, period. So if you come into the deen, you weren't Muslim, then you came into the deen, you became Muslim, you should get circumcised because this is a commandment. This is part of our fitrah. It's clean, okay? But this is the saying of people who don't understand Tawheed. They don't understand that Allah said, I did not create jinn or mankind except that they may worship me. Right? So if we were created to worship Allah, then surely He's the one that tells us how we're supposed to live our life. Yeah, okay, He made us like this, but also He gives us things to test us. One of the examples that I like to use is, poison ivy. Right? People say, well, it's natural, so I said poison ivy is natural too. But you ain't supposed to roll in it, you ain't supposed to touch it, you ain't supposed to rub it all on your body, it's natural. Go and use it. Right? So Allah gives us certain things to test us, right? Allah created the snake. Why did He create the snake? Why did He create, the black widow? Why did He create things that could kill us or whatever? These are all tests for us. You know what I'm saying? So when Allah sends down His messengers, He sends down guidance. Right? So it's about following that guidance. We can do whatever we want to do. Well, I can do it. I feel like this, well, I feel that. Well, but He didn't listen. But He did. He did tell us. He did tell us what we're supposed to do. He did tell us that this is not supposed to be something that we're supposed to keep because He sent prophets and messengers, right, to guide us. He said, I'm not going to leave you here by yourself. I'm going to send you guidance, right? And when that guidance comes, those who adhere to that guidance, alhamdulillah, they'll be saved. They'll have no fear. But those who don't follow that guidance, then they'll be in the hellfire with shaitan, right? So the concept of, well, it's there, so just leave it there. No. Allah sent messengers, Allah sent a millah, Allah sent, the prophets to show us how we're supposed to do and when we're supposed to do it, how we're supposed to do it. So, alhamdulillah, we follow the ways of the prophets because Allah sent prophets to guide us. Okay? Also, in the book, Luke, so these are just the Old Testament. So now somebody may say, well, the Old Testament, that's the Old Testament. The New Testament changed the Old Testament, blah, 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 blah. Right? This is a lie. This is also a lie. So now we're going to the New Testament. Again, just using the book to verify what it is that we believe in and showing that we don't believe in nothing new, that this is something that, even your own book says, right? Although we don't have to use this book. But again, this is part of our da'wah. We don't give da'wah to people. We want to call them to the deen. Allah says, and call them to something that, we have in common. Right? We got a common denominator. We got common ayats. We got common verses and common, common verses. So let's see what your verses say, and let's see what our verses say. So if we go to the book of Luke, Luke chapter 1, verse 59 through 60. Now this is the New Testament. We've been quoting from the Old Testament, now we're using the New Testament, because remember Jesus said, I didn't come to change the law, I came to fulfill the law. Don't change it. So now we go to the book of Luke. It says, and when the child was 8 days old, they all came to the circumcision ceremony, and he was named Yahya, John the Baptist. So we're also told that when John the Baptist, who was the cousin of Isa, who was the cousin of Jesus, it said that on the 8th day, they took him to get circumcised for what? The circumcision ceremony. So the Jews, they have a ceremony for the specific day. So this is in the book of Luke. Okay, so John the Baptist was circumcised on the 8th day. Why? Because he's following the covenant of Abraham. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we follow the middle of Ibrahim. Right? He's the Hanifa, Muslima, Hanifa. Right? So Abraham said what? This is an everlasting covenant. Right? He circumcised himself what? At the age of 99, Ismail salam at the age of 13. Right? Then we're told in the book of Luke that John the Baptist, Yahya, he was circumcised on the 8th day. Now let's go to Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, verse 21. Luke chapter 2, verse 21. It says, 8 days later, when the baby was circumcised, he was named Jesus. Right? 8 days later, when the baby was circumcised, he was named Jesus. So even saying that Jesus was circumcised on the 8th day, what? Following the what? The way of Abraham. Following what? The everlasting covenant. So even in Jesus, John the Baptist, Abraham, Ismail, Isaac, they all were what? Circumcised. This is an everlasting covenant. We Muslims, we follow the way of Abraham, right? The Hanifa, the Muslimah, right? From his lineage is what? Ismail alayhi salam said, you and all your descendants. Ismail alayhi salam, Muslims, right? We circumcised. But in Islam, the sunnah is on the 7th day. Okay? But again, showing the significance, showing the similarity. 8th day, 7th day. The main thing is that you do it. Right? This is a covenant. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In Islam, we have what is called an aqiqah. In Islam, we have an aqiqah. Aqiqah. Right? You know, the baby's born, you have an aqiqah. Right? You have a certain type of meal. You slaughter a lamb or a goat, if it's one, for a girl, two for a boy, or even something other than that, right? This is called an aqiqah, right? It's a commemoration of having a baby. So, in the aqiqah, the sunnah of the aqiqah is that on the 7th day, the boy is circumcised, the hair is cut, right? And a feast, a lamb is slaughtered, right? And this protects from the filth and the bacteria and from diseases. The circumcision, it protects from the filth, bacteria, and diseases. Not only the circumcision, but also the cutting of the hair. Right? So in Islam, we cut the hair of the baby on the 7th day. The baby circumcised, the hair is cut, and it said that this protects from the filth, the bacteria, and diseases. This is Iman, this is part of the Fitrah. Okay, so we have an aqiqah on the 7th day. The baby is circumcised. The hair is cut, right? And whatever amount of the hair, whatever it weighs, you're supposed to give charity, right? In the amount of silver, whatever the hair equaled out into the weight of silver, you give it in charity. You also name the child on the 7th day, right? And this thing, and you give it a feast. So you circumcise, you cut the hair, you give it a name, and you have a feast. And then it says that this protects from the filth and the bacteria and diseases. So cutting the hair, like, oh, don't cut the hair off. This all protects from the filth, bacteria, and disease. Because we don't know the placenta and all the things in the stomach and all the filth and waste in the body. It's in the hair. Right? Oh, she got long hair. Oh, no, the curls. Don't cut it off. This is the sunnah. Right? We were told that it makes the hair stronger when you cut it. It makes the roots stronger. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with the child that's born. Right? You have the hair. We don't know what type of diseases, infection, or bacteria. Right? You shave the hair. Right? Put olive oil on the hair. Right? Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, and it grows better. It grows thicker. Right? A better stalk. So Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, this is pertaining to the circumcision. So these are the 10. Okay, now going back to the other hadith, Abu Ayyub Ansari, he said the sunnah of the prophets is number 1, the tib, right, the oil, right? So part of the sunnah is that we wear the oil. The Prophet Muhammad said 2 things that if offered to you, do not deny. So if somebody offers you something, there's 2 things that if somebody offers you something, do not deny him. One is tib, meaning oil, and the other is milk, because it's part of your fitrah. So if someone offers you oil for the man, right? Because we know the woman, she's not supposed to go outside with oil. But if it's inside, alhamdulillah, you can wear the oil, right, for your husband. But if someone offers you oil, you know, like a lot of the men before the salat, brothers like, hey, brother, you want some oil? You're not supposed to deny him. And also the other thing that you're not supposed to deny is milk, because it's part of the fitrah. So oil and milk, if someone offers you these things, you shouldn't deny. Okay? The Prophet Muhammad said with regards to the oil, he said the best type of oil is musk. The best type of oil, the best smelling oil, the best oil in the sight of Allah is musk. Right? Those that make it to the Jannah, it said that the ground will smell like musk. Right? So it'll be the smell of musk. Right? The sunnah of putting on oil, there's a sunnah, and how the Prophet ﷺ used to put the oil on. He used to put the oil on his beard and his hair. In his beard and his hair. This is the sunnah of how you put the oil on. With regards to the hair, if someone has long hair, the Prophet Muhammad said, if someone has long hair, he should honor it and oil it. He should honor it and oil it and comb it. Do not walk around disheveled looking like a shaitan. So he said, don't just walk around with your hair matted. There's also a hadith in the Muwatta of Imam Malik that said, Rasulullah said, do not let your hair get matted. Do not let it get tangled up. Basically like the dreadlocks. Don't let it mat up like that. Right? So it's haram to let your hair mat up. He said, you got long hair? He said, clean it, comb it, oil it. Okay? So part of having long hair is that you clean it and you comb it. You brush it. You honor it. Okay? He said, don't let it get matted up. Don't let it mat up. We don't wear dreadlocks in Islam. Right? It's haram. It's letting it mat up. It's looking like a devil. And it's following the ways of the kuffar. It's following the ways of the disbelievers. Right? The Rastafarians or whatever. We don't follow that. Okay? We comb our hair. We oil our hair. We honor our hair. Right? Islam, we do not use or we do not get dreadlocks. That's haram in Islam. Another aspect that's haram in Islam is called qaza. Qaza. Right? Qaza is haram. Right? The Prophet Muhammad said, qaza is haram. Do not do qaza. Qaza means to shave part of the hair and leave another part of the hair. Flat tops. Mohawks. You shave part, but you leave another part. Right? You see the Pharaoh, when he shaved all this, he had a little thing right here. Right? You got the Mohawk, right? Or you got the Bobby Browns, or whatever thing. You got the dreadlock, you know what I'm saying? You got the dreadlock flat tops now. All of this is called qaza. To shave a part and to leave another part, this is haram. This is called qaza. The Prophet Muhammad forbade qaza. He said either cut it off, right? Make it even, and if it is long, oil it and honor it. So if you have hair, either cut it all the way off. There's nothing wrong with having bald hair, right? But he said if you have long hair, let it be even. Don't be cutting it, making it different levels. Honor it and oil it, right? We're also told that the Prophet Muhammad that he had long hair, right? Not only did he have long hair, but he had 4 braids. We're also told that Ibn Abbas, he had 2 braids. We're also told that Ruqayya, who was the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad she had 3 braids, right? And also, if you have braids, then when you make ghusl, you do not have to take the braids out. You can just put the water over your hair, right? And we're also told that Isa that he had long hair as well. So there's nothing wrong with having long hair. Matter of fact, Rasulullah he had long hair. Not only did he have long hair, but he used to have braids in his hair. 4 braids. Ibn Abbas, he had 2 braids. We're told that Abu Hurairah, he had 2 braids. Right? We're also told that Isa he had long hair as well. So alhamdulillah, if you have long hair, don't care. Oil it, comb it, brush it, right? Honor it. Okay? Also, just another hadith, just a reminder, there's nothing wrong with having nice clothes or looking sharp or looking creased. Okay, this is also part of our hygiene. There's nothing wrong with wearing nice clothes, looking sharp, or being increased. This is part of being jamil, or being handsome. Right? The Prophet Muhammad said in Hadith, anyone who has an average weight of kibr. So he's talking to the Sahabas. He said, anyone who has an average weight of kibr, and kibr is arrogance, right? They won't even be able to smell the scent of paradise, although it can be smelled 700 years away. Right? So anyone who has an inkling, an average weight of kibr or arrogance in their heart, right? They won't even be able to smell the paradise, even though it can be smelled 700 years away. So what did the Sahaba say? Ya Rasulullah, but some of us like to wear nice clothes. Some of us like to wear nice shoes. Is this kibr? He said, no, this is not kibr. For verily one of the names of Allah is Al-Jamil, right? He's the most handsome. He's the most beautiful. And verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves beautiful and nice things. He said, but kibr is pertaining to the deen, right? And being arrogant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commandments. Like shaitan, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told shaitan, and bow down to Adam, he said, Abba was stuck about wa kana min al-kafirin. He refused, he was arrogant, thus he became of the kafirin. So to be arrogant when pertaining to Allah's laws and commandments, right? This is kufr. So he said arrogance is not pertaining to looking nice, being sharp, having creases, right? There's nothing wrong with that. He said that arrogance is pertaining to the deen, right? Someone tells you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says this, right? But you say, I don't care. You say, well, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You do the opposite of that. Well, I know he said this because, why? Because I felt like it. Felt like it? Shaitan said the same thing. Because I feel like it. I'm better than him. I'm not bowing down because I'm better than him. For that one mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala damned him forever. For that one mistake. Even though right before that, he was the Khalifa of the earth. He was the best of the jinn. Up until that one point. See, because you never know what it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test you with. Whether he'll give you a situation where you be tested with submission or arrogance. And that can doom you forever. You gotta be careful. It's one thing to say, I don't care, oh well. And it's another thing to say, man, I got a problem. I need to work on it. May Allah bless me. May Allah forgive me. And inshallah, I'm trying to do better. That's the difference. But just to be outright arrogant, I don't care, I don't want to, that's stupid. Who does that? Man, that's arrogance. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said arrogance is pertaining to the deen and the belittling of your brother or your sister. Talking down on your brother or your sister, making fun of your brother or your sister, right? Because maybe you look better than them, or maybe because you're stronger than them, or maybe because you got more money than them, or you got a better house or better clothes or whatnot, and you're arrogant. So you look down, you got your nose in the air at them, you're looking down on them. This is arrogance. Okay? So again, pertaining to the hygiene, there's nothing wrong with looking nice, there's nothing wrong with having nice clothes and nice shoes. Again, pertaining to this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu said, anyone who has an inclination or any inkling, right, or an atom's weight of kibr, they won't be able to smell the scent of paradise, although it can be smelled 700 years away. They say, Ya Rasulullah, but some of us like to wear nice clothes. Some of us like to wear nice shoes. Is this kibr? He said, no. For verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Jamil. He is the most handsome, and he's the most beautiful, and thus he loves handsome and beautiful things. That's not kibr. But kibr is pertaining to the deen, right? Going against what Allah says, going against what the Prophet ﷺ said, putting your own nafs ahead of that, right? Or the belittling of your brother or your sister. Okay? So alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, this is it in a nutshell. This is our class for today. With regards to the Fitrah. Again, just a brief recap, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, we have 10 aspects of Fitrah that inshallah we should try to inculcate into our life, you know what I'm saying, so we can be the most pure and the most hygienic. Because the Prophet Muhammad said that purity is half your deen, right? Cleanliness is close to godliness. This is pertains to our households and our bathrooms, our kitchens, our rooms. We're supposed to be clean. We're supposed to be the cleanest of the clean, right? And part of our Fitrah, we have 10 aspects. Clipping the mustache, right? Growing over the lip, making sure we don't have the cholo, you know, the whatever they call it, the brusha. Well, anything that comes over the lip, you know, a lot of the cholos, They got the mustache that comes all the way over their lip.
Yeah, it's like the Chinese people, they left their beard.
Yeah.
They left that little, like, lower
Okay,
than it's
yeah.
supposed to go.
Right? So in Islam, man, we're supposed to be sharp. Right? We're supposed to line up that lip. We're supposed to line it up. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to line it up. Right? And leave the beard. It doesn't matter what type of beard you got. You got a little beard, a small beard, a big beard. Leave the beard alone. Don't touch it. Don't cut it at all. Period. Okay? At all. There is no hadith stating that the Prophet Muhammad touched, shaved, or trimmed his beard. Period. All the four imams say that it's wajib, it's mandatory, it's fardh to grow the beard and not shave it. Anyone that shaves the beard, he is an open fasik, he's an open transgressor. Imam Malik said, right, this is a sign of femininity, a feminist, right? Like borderline homosexual to shave your beard. This is what Imam Malik said. He said also, don't let them lead the salah. Don't let them make the adhan. And don't let them have any type of, you know what I'm saying, positions of authority. You know what I'm saying? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Also, number 3, the using of the miswak. Alhamdulillah, this is something the Prophet did. Whenever he woke up, he used it. Him and Aisha, he used it. He would walk through the town using it. It raises you in rank in the salah. You know, it clears your throat, metabolism, beautify the voice, right? All of that. Your eyesight, wisdom, memory, right? Intelligence, miswak. Number 4, cleaning the nose with water in, right? With your right hand, with your left hand. This cleans the nose filter, right? Keeps the diseases, the bacteria, and the things that float in the sky out your body. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Surely Allah is Akbar. He gives us, you know what I'm saying, the answers and the remedies for things that's going on now. They say, oh, the Cornelius virus, the coronavirus, it goes through the ears, the nose, and the throat. So they got you wearing a mask now, right? Because it's going in your nose, your ears. So what do we do as Muslims? We wash our mouth, we clean our nose, and we clean our ears. And we wear the veil. Women wear the veil. So we already been protected. We already protected ourselves. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. We've been doing it already. So there's nothing to worry about. We've been doing it. We've been cleaning out our nose. We've been cleaning out our mouths. We've been cleaning our ears. We've been cleaning it between our hands. We've been washing our hands 5 times a day. Make sure you wash your hands good. We've been washing our hands. We have sunnahs that before you eat, wash your hands. After you eat, wash your hands. We have the sunnahs already. So we already been protected ourselves. So guess what? There's nothing to be afraid of. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Okay? So, number 5, clipping the nails and the toenails. No longer than 40 days. The best is 7 days. Okay? We ain't trying to be, you know, Guinness Book of World Records and see who got the longest fingernails and toenails. We ain't trying to be Wolverines and all of that. Right? Clip the nails, clip the toenails. Number 6, washing between the fingers and the toes. This is also a sunnah, to wash between the fingers and the toes. We gave the example of Imam Malik that this is something that is necessary when we make the wudu. This is correct. This is the best and the most perfect wudu. Number 7, shaving the underarm. Okay, again, this is for the man and the woman. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. The Prophet Muhammad is the best example. So anyone to make fun of the sunnah, oh man, you shaving your arm, man, you're not gonna, man, do you understand that anyone who makes fun of the sunnah, this can take you out of the realm of Islam? Oh, that's stupid. No, you're stupid. To say anything foul about the sunnah can take you out of the realm of Islam. So shaving the underarms, again, longer than 40 days. The best is every 7 days, Friday. Number 8, shaving the pubic hairs, man and a woman. Again, self-explanatory. No longer than 40 days. The best 7 days, every Friday. Number 9, As-Stinjaa, safeguarding oneself from urine defecation using water. Again, we use our left hand to cleanse ourselves. Right? We cleanse ourselves with the water. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. This is pure. Number 10, circumcision. Right? To cut off the foreskin. Right? And the sunnah is that on the 7th day that the child is circumcised, he's given a name, his hair is cut, and there's a feast, right? A walima. And again, this goes in accordance with what was done in the times of old with all the other prophets. This is one of the sunnahs of all the prophets. As Abu Ayyub, radiallahu anhu, he said, there are 4 things that are the sunnahs of the prophets. There were 4 things. Number 1, circumcision. Number 2, using the oil. Number 3, the miswak. And number 4, getting married. Yes. So like she said, you know, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, you know, even to this day, for religious purposes, again, as I said, I know people personally, back in the day, they was 20 years old, 19 years old, and they went for religious purposes, they had Medi-Cal or whatever it was, and they gave them a free circumcision based on their religion. Now today, like you're saying to now, you got a certain type of medical insurance, Calviva, whatnot. They're now again doing it for religious purposes, where they're doing it for free. Okay, so it's not hard. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. All you have to do is have your mind and faith and just make it happen. Because verily, it is this jinn that love filth. Wherever there's filth, wherever there's things cluttered up, right? Wherever there's dust and all this other stuff, and dirt and crumbs and all this stuff, this is where the jinn are at. The jinn love filth, right? So in order to combat the jinn, man, you get rid of the filth. Man, use that bleach. Man, cockroaches and whatnot, they love filth, right? They come because there's filth. They like filth. If you have a house, man, it's nothing but bleach, and it's nothing but smelling of incense and whatnot, and you all by the doors and the cracks of the doors and whatnot, they ain't coming in. They want to go where there's filth. They want to go where there's dookie, where there's dung, where there's food on the ground. They want to go where there's crumbs, leaving food out on the table and whatnot. They coming out. They coming out. Rasulullah said, any food that you leave on them, that's for shaitan. You leave a crumb, you drop. He said, man, and eat it. Bismillah. He said, why? Because you leave it for shaitan. That shaitan could be that roach. You left it for the shaitan. You leave food on the table, just sitting there. On the stove, it's just sitting there. For shaitan. Right? Another thing too, we gotta be very mindful, man, with regards to feeding our kids. If they ain't supposed to eat, give them lighter portions. You ain't got to give you ain't gonna hear anything. Man, give them lighter portions. If they want more, let them ask for more. You ain't got to give a kid a whole big portion plate. You know they ain't supposed to eat it all. So you sitting here with food and you throwing it away. You feeding shaitan, and it's a sin. Give them little portions. I'm gonna give you a little bit. I want more. Okay, when you finish this, if you want more, I'll give you more. But I'm not supposed to give you a whole bunch at the get-go, and then I gotta throw it away. You feeding shaitan. You feeding shaitan, and you're in sin. Every time you feed shaitan. So please be mindful, man. When you guys feed these kids, give them a little portion. You ain't gotta you can give them a plate like it's grown up. You don't wonder why they ain't eat it all. And then what you gonna do with it? Just put it over here. You gonna throw it away? The fault is on you because you made that big plate. You should have made that big plate. What should you make a big plate for? Give a little bit. Learn how to be humble. Learn how to be modest. Learn how to do with the bare essentials. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. Rasulullah, when they used to eat like a couple of dates, and that was it. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, I'm good for the day. We want to just, this is part of our jahiliyyah. This is part of the speaker figure. This is part of living in society, you know what I'm saying, where we ain't got no sense. So inshallah, man, just a nasiha for myself and for us, as a family, man, let's do better, man. Let's do better with regards to cleanliness. Let's do better with regards to waste. Let's do better with regards to the portions. And all of that, man, and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what it is that we do, and strive to be the best. Okay, we ain't perfect, we're going to make mistakes, but inshallah, man, let's do better. Inshallah. Any questions? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وبشر النار الأرض وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين